Just last year, Russell Westbrook was playing with the Washington Wizards, and everyone was hyped. We got to see a duo of Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, and a lot of people thought that would work out. I mean, people thought on the Wizards they had great shooters, and Thomas Bryant could also shoot the ball, and they thought that Westbrook would go to the rim and pass the ball to many shooters. And yes, they started to figure it out later on in the season, became the 8th seed. But in the beginning of the season, they were 2-9, and their trajectory was not to make the playoffs. Many people, including me, thought they wouldn't make the playoffs, and they would be one big failure in this NBA season. But somehow, this NBA season, they have flipped it around after they have traded Russell Westbrook. And that's crazy to say. Russell Westbrook is an all-star type player, and all they got back is some role players. Yeah, that is really, really crazy. Anyways, let's talk about that. But before we talk about that, quick little thing I want to talk about. So, guys, I haven't uploaded in a very long time, a month. I'm not going to talk about this for too long. All I'm going to say is that I was really trying to upload videos for the past few months. A lot were not working out. I was trying to find a consistent schedule with school happening. I'm really sorry for, not uploading. Anyways, let's get back into the video. Alright, so the Washington Wizards have an 8-3 record. That is absolutely amazing. And most of this goes to Wes Unseld. Wes Unseld Jr. is the coach of the Washington Wizards. And Wes Unseld Jr. is a great defensive-minded coach. Wes Unseld Jr., he really changed his team's dynamic. They're a great defensive team. There's Bradley Beal, who really is playing pretty good defense this season. In the beginning of his, career, Bradley Beal was actually a good defender, if you guys remember. And now we're seeing flashes of that again, as Bradley Beal is averaging 1.2 steals per game, which is pretty good. So a lot of that goes to Wes Unseld Jr. They also got Denny Avdia, who is also a great defender, averaging 20 minutes per game. Denny Avdia is just playing amazing on the defensive end. Last year he showed a lot of flashes of being good on the defensive end, but this year he's really proved himself and he's coming into his own. Denny Avdia, he might not have the best steal and block numbers, but that mostly goes to how many minutes he plays a game. Without Denny Avdia, the Wizards aren't that good defensively, but with Denny Avdia, they are only allowing 97.2 points per game. Yeah, you heard that right. Is this the 2000s? No, it isn't. Because Denny Avdia is playing great defensively. And it's not about their defense only, because they had many players that came to the Wizards and players that got traded from the Lakers. Let's say like KCP, there's Kyle Kuzma, there's so many guys like that. There's even Montrezl Harrell, who is playing great offensively. Montrezl Harrell is averaging 18 points per game and 60% from the field. And he's a great, paint presence for the Washington Wizards. Before Thomas Bryant was their starting center, he's pretty good. But Montrezl Harrell, he's a really good paint presence. And I think he's a better player than a guy like Thomas Bryant. Montrezl Harrell is just playing absolutely amazing, and I think this is really, really a great accusation for the Washington Wizards. KCP is just a good 3-point shooter. Just a guy who can give you 9-10 points per game in the starting lineup or coming off the bench sometimes. He's a good guy for the team on the offensive end. And also, there's Kyle Kuzma. And a lot of Lakers fans and a lot of people thought that Kyle Kuzma, he's playing terrible with the Lakers. But it turns out he just needed a change of scenery. He went back to averaging 15 points per game. And he's playing pretty good on the offensive end. Against the Cavaliers last night, he was very, very clutch. I believe he made like 2 threes in a row. And this is a great way for Kyle Kuzma to get his confidence back. And this is great that Kyle Kuzma is playing good again and is traded to the Washington Wizards. And the Washington Wizards are obviously playing really, really good. As a team, they're really, really good in the paint too. And the Washington Wizards, they have many players who are really good. And what is also funny is that with Spencer Dinwiddie and not Russell Westbrook, the Wizards are a better team, and with all these role players too. Spencer Dinwiddie was a great accusation. I think he's averaging about like 15 points per game, which is also pretty good coming off of a ACL tear, which could end NBA players' careers. So props to Spencer Dinwiddie. I think he's just a better fit with Bradley Beal than Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, even with the Lakers, he's not that good of a fit. With many teams, he can't really fit. While Spencer Dinwiddie, with every single team in the NBA, he could probably fit with them. Whether he's coming off the bench or starting, he can be really good for many NBA teams. And the role players, they are really good, and they're really good on the offensive end. Bradley Beal is now averaging 23 points per game, not 31 points per game. And you might be wondering, Bradley Beal's having a bad season. Since also he's only averaging 25% from 3. Yeah, in the beginning of the season, Bradley Beal can't really make 3-point shots. But he's driving to the rim at an efficient rate. And he also has role players he could pass the ball to. And he's not averaging as much points per game because, the role players are helping him out a lot of the time. And that is really great for Bradley Beal. And it puts Bradley Beal in a great situation. It's a way better fit than Russell Westbrook being in the Lakers. And I honestly think this Wizards team could be competitive and make the playoffs. Maybe even be the 7th seed or maybe even the 6th seed. I have a prediction they're going to be the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, and I never saw this coming from a Wizard team with role players and Spencer Dinwiddie. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to try to upload once a week. Bye.